My name is Ashley and I am a yoga teacher in Fargo, North Dakota. You can find me at ashesyoga.com, also most social media platforms as Ashes Yoga. And I am here to talk about my first yoga class experience. It wasn't that great. In fact, I like to say that my first yoga class experience, or yoga experience in general, was like a bad first date and then dating experience. But it was a bad first date, like super annoying, frustrating, all that kind of thing, but you end up marrying the person, right? You know what I mean? That kind of relationship where some people go to their first yoga class and it's love at first sight and they're like, yeah, I love this. I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm gonna come back and do all the yoga. That would be in comparison to a love at first sight relationship where you just dive right in. That was not the case for me. I was 20 years old when I experienced yoga for the first time. Maybe I was 19, doesn't matter. I was in college and my first actual experience, my very initial experience was with P90X, the workout program, the 90-day extreme workout program with Tony Horton. It's a great workout program, but the yoga is 90 minutes long. And I went into it thinking, yeah, I got this. I'm a college athlete, I'm strong, I'm flexible, I can do this. So I had an ego thinking that I was good at it, good at something I had never done before. So I pushed play and it was torture. I hated it. It was hard, I was angry, I got frustrated, and 45 minutes into that DVD, I shut it off and said, I'm never doing yoga again. I hate yoga. It's the stupidest thing in the world. True story. And then again, fast forward a few months, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give group fitness a try. We had just, at the college I was at, they had just built a new wellness center facility, so I thought, I'll give some classes a try. And I went to my first yoga class there. It was later in the semester, so there had already been, a few weeks at least of the class. And this is not a direct quote. This is what I interpreted the teacher saying. She said something like, if you haven't been going to yoga class frequently or before this, you probably shouldn't be here because it's going to be really hard and this isn't for you. She didn't say that, but I felt that way, or that's what I interpreted. And I was like, well, I'm gonna be here anyway, and I'm gonna sit right here and I'm gonna do yoga because I totally can do this. Yeah, that was like the bad date experience where you're in the situation, you're talking, having a good time, and then you just get like this annoyed, frustrated, and you just want to leave and you want any excuse to leave. And that was me on my mat, trying to do the things that she was telling us to do, getting frustrated because my upper body was so weak, my core strength was so weak, and I had a really hard time getting rid of my anger or calming down. And that was a common thing when I was in college. I didn't know how to handle my emotions. So a lot of things would come up when we tried to sit still, and I was not someone that would sit still. So when I was in the class, I ended up, 10, 15 minutes in, maybe halfway through, I'm just in tears, like staring at the door. I keep looking at the door like, when can I leave? When can I leave? Would they notice if I just picked up and left right now? And I ended up sticking out the whole class, but I left that class like, I'm not gonna go back. That was awful. I feel terrible. But there was something deep inside of me that knew that because it was hard, that I needed it. It was a challenge that I was willing to take on, even though I absolutely hated it and didn't want to. I knew it would be good for me because my end goal was that I wanted to be a better athlete. So I actually started doing yoga because I wanted to improve a different area of my life in high jumping on the track team. Typically, people go to yoga not because they want to be good at yoga, but because they want to improve other areas, whether it's stress reduction, flexibility, strength, other things for other goals in life. You want to be a better parent, you want to be a better employee, you want to be a better anything. Do yoga without expectations. Have an open mind. And okay, so again, fast forward probably a year or two, and it was my last semester of college, and I decided, since a couple of the other track athletes were taking this class, I would take yoga level 1 for credit. That means I have to go because participation was pretty much your whole grade. So you just show up to the class and you'd get an A. So it was an easy 2 credits because it was one the first half the semester, another credit the second half the semester. It was my last semester and I thought, why not? I'll do whatever I can to help my high jumping in my last chance as a college athlete. So the first few classes of that, it wasn't so bad because I actually got in an introduction. Everybody there was brand new. I wasn't just jumping into something. And yes, it was hard. It was hard for me to sit still for 5 to 10 minutes. It was hard for me to hold downward facing dog for 5 breaths. I didn't have the strength, but I kept at it because, you know, it was my grade. And eventually, 16 weeks, that's the full semester later, I was like, you know, I think this has helped me. Now, I couldn't tell for sure because I was only going twice a week, but there was something about it that kept compelling me to go back. And when I graduated, there wasn't a lot of yoga studios in Fargo. There was a couple classes at different gyms. I ended up finding a DVD program just randomly as a Facebook ad, and I thought, huh, this looks cool, and I would recommend this program to you, but it doesn't exist anymore and they don't sell it, so I won't. But it was a 60-day yoga program and I decided to give it a shot. I just graduated, I was done with being a college athlete. I wanted something to keep me accountable to my physical fitness and my mental well-being, and I knew that yoga was the thing for me. So I started in this journey of 45-minute daily yoga practice with the DVDs. And I did it all the way through every single day. My yoga journey has been quite a process. Like I said, it was like experiencing a bad first date, but then sticking with it, giving it another chance, and eventually falling in love with this very annoying, frustrated person thing. And then eventually getting married, because I trained as a yoga teacher 2 years after college graduation and became a full-time yoga teacher. I don't own a studio. I don't own anything except my own, my own brand, which is myself. And I teach a ton of classes. I do my own personal yoga practice. I've gotten into Ashtanga yoga and exploring different workshops, different trainings. It's just something that I know has really helped me become a calmer person. It's helped my confidence because I'm able to talk to people, even getting on video here right now and telling my story of how I got into it is something that came with a lot of personal development. It came with a lot of practice, and it's something that I like to share with people. So anyway, that was my first yoga experience. I hope you enjoyed that story. I would love to know how your first yoga experience was, if you loved it or if you hated it. If you're looking for an introduction to yoga, I have a little short video series on my website, ashesyoga.com. Also on YouTube, there's a few yoga videos, the same videos that you'd find intro to yoga. There's a quick little 7-day or 7-video process. That's all I have for you today. If you'd like to sign up for weekly email updates where I give you awesome things and tips and advice and great things to get in contact, that would be at my website, ashesyoga.com. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.